I remember the day that Robin Williams died. I heard it on the radio. And like thousands of other people, I was depressed, devastated. It's so strange that we can feel this emotional connection with somebody that we never even met before. I mean, it recently happened with David Lynch. You feel like you know these people even though you don't. And Robin Williams had this universal appeal to his character and his personal character and the characters he played. And around that time, I heard about one of his last movies was one where he played a gay man, and the film was called Boulevard. I didn't necessarily want to watch that movie because of just the emotional weight of having to watch something that Robin was in. And at the time, the film also got like mixed reviews. So I kind of put that in the back of my mind and didn't really want to watch it. But now, recently, I decided to give it a shot, and I have to tell you, this movie is actually very, very good. Boulevard is about a man named Nolan who is in an unhappy marriage, and one night he decides to make a change. I love Robin Williams in serious roles. Of course, he's a comedic genius in all the classical films that he was in, but I love films like 1 Hour Photo, or even Christopher Nolan's film Insomnia. Like when he gets to really just bottle up all this energy and just his glances sometimes and the way that he says something, you could feel this profound sadness in his voice, in his looks. He was just a super underrated dramatic actor. Obviously, his comedic roles get over talked about, but these really genuine dramatic performances, I mean, incredible stuff. Now, I could see why some people might think this film is a bit cliche. I mean, it does have to do with some sex worker cliches that happen. There is a gay relationship that forms with the Nolan character and the sex worker, and I do feel like there is so much, I don't know, there's just so much that's not said, but you feel a lot of it, and that's mostly because of Robin Williams' performance. But I think overall, the film is very well told and well performed, not just by Robin Williams, but by just across the board in the entire film. Fantastic work here. This film is very much a character piece. The story is not necessarily one that has a lot going on. It's really about the emotional underlying current that's going on with all the characters. Not often you get to see characters of gay men that are like 60 plus. And so to see a character like this was a bit of a fresh take on it. And I think also an overlooked performance in this film is by the wife character, Kathy Baker. And she does an equally powerful job playing this wife that kind of knows stuff but is afraid to kind of approach the elephant in the room. This is a simplistic story, but told in a very emotional, heavy way. And we forget often that these stories, unfortunately, are still relevant in today's society, where somebody does feel like they were not being able to be honest with themselves until very much later in life. And her performance reminds you that, you know, when we see stories like this, we really feel for the person who is lying to themselves, but we forget that it also destroys not just their lives and their time they had in wasted time and not actually pursuing what they wanted to pursue, but it wastes and destroys the lives of the people they fell in love with. And I'm not saying that love was not genuine, but it just kind of creates this situation that's just devastating all around. Also, this film has such a unique take on a coming out scene, and not going to give a lot away, but the way that the filmmaker decides to hold on a very tight close-up and just we really get to study the face and the nuances of the performance. Really great stuff that happens here. What's also interesting about the film is that it's actually happy. I know if it sounds like this film is very emotionally draining, this film is incredibly hopeful. I found it to be, because even though it's kind of like peeling off a Band-Aid, this film reminds me of, because it's very painful, but it's necessary. You have to do it. And I feel like there's so much hope in this film, even though it gets very messy. For people who may be in a situation like this or have gone through a situation like this, you feel a bit that there's no way out. And this film kind of shows you that there could be light at the end of that tunnel. I found this film to be incredibly satisfying. I'm kind of upset that some of the reviews deterred me from watching this all these years later, and that goes to show you that you should create your own opinion about things and listen to recommendations, of course. But ultimately have your own opinion, because this movie is way better than I thought it was going to be. And knowing that this is one of his last performances, I think it's a beautiful, quiet, powerful way shown everybody what a talent he was. Not only that, but just to show you that sometimes there's hope even in the moments that feel the most bleakest.